welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. Hopefully you can hear me alright over the necessary air conditioning. It's toasty again today. It's eternally humid now, apparently. Doing the bi-weekly astrology. I'm gonna move the camera in a second, but I've got it angled here so you can see all the piles. We're in Cancer, so I'm going to start with Cancer, and when I do these processionally, so I go backwards. Every month-ish, another sign gets to go first. It's the most fair way for me to deal with this. So, the way that I've sorted the piles out this fortnight, I pulled piles for different signs. Some piles are duplicated. These are all going to be triptych door readings. I offer that as a separate reading. It's $22. I used almost all of my decks. Yeah, I don't know, I'm drifty. I feel like there's more I want to say, but there isn't much there. So each pile has 3 cards, and I'll probably get to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I don't know, I guess that's it. Just kinda we've got some business to get to here. So we're gonna start with Cancer, but I'm gonna tell you what decks I used first, and that way you might have some, just in case anybody cares what comes up in the piles that you choose to watch, unless you watch all of them, and then you'll see. So I'm using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Trying to see if this is going to focus. And the matching tarot deck. Wild Unknown. I am using the Morgan Greer. I'm using my combined deck of playing cards of Tim Burton and Historical Fashion. I'm using my music deck that I made. I'm using the how can I not remember what this is called right now? I'm having word to image interface problems right now. I want to say Romance Oracle, but I don't know if that's right. Where's the freaking box? Oh, I almost took my chair over. That'll be good. Lover's Oracle. The Lover's Oracle. I don't know why that was so hard. So I'm using the Lover's Oracle. Using the mini Rider-Waite. It's petite, it's cute. I'm using my Twin Flame Pinnacle deck. You're not Twin Flame, don't worry about it. It's just the way I have the cards marked. Using the Uno deck. Using the Cairo Marchetti Legacy of the Divine Tarot, and also the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. What the hell is this called? Radley Valentine Angel Tarot deck. The Aquarian Tarot. Lucy Cavendish Blessed Bee deck. Oh, I guess there's focus to about there. Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Thoth deck. I'm using my phrase deck that I made. Getting pretty thick there. I'm using the Syrian Starseed Tarot. and the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Alright, so I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit, and I'm gonna start on Cancer. So pull these, I'm gonna move these other piles around a little bit to get some more space. Just slide them over. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, so Cancer. Just check the focus. I'm probably gonna have to move the focus again, but we'll see. Just a little bit off. Okay. Alright. I have a sugar hangover because I ate a lot of cookies yesterday. Still better than having a vodka hangover, though. Cancer, water sign, ruled by the moon. Alright, so the way that I do triptych door, I have... This is wrong. Okay. So I have a larger card in the middle. That's the unification of the side or an outcome. And then I have two cards on the other side that have to do with what's being reconciled. So I have 10 of Wands, Saturn and Sagittarius, and the 4 of Coins inverted. So let me just show this upright. It's the, like, world is not enough, hoarding, holding on to all the things, not knowing when to hold and when to fold kind of energy. So I have 4 of Coins, the Sun in Capricorn. So I have, that's, the Sun is Leo, and then we have partnered with fellow fire sign Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So we have a lot of big changes, big influences, big problems, long-reaching issues being worked on here. Notice that I have 10 and 4 over here. I have potentially 14. This is still sort of nose to the grindstone, a little bit of overwhelm, which is probably why somebody's starting to let go of stuff, right? It's too much. I've been holding on to this crap for too long. I need to let go. Like, I need to drop some of this load. I can't. Saturn and Capricornian energy is currently retrograde. It's that, like, what do you really need to do? Been going through it for a while here. This guy is crawling. It's like, by any means necessary, I need to get there. I need to get to complete this. This card upright is usually problematic, but inverted, it's like letting yourself move forward. It's like the task has been a burden because you've been blocking your own way by holding on to shit that you need to let go of. Now, this is indication of the material world, but it could be in your own body as well. And it could be, it could also relate to goods and services and money. But I see it, normally I see things in energies instead of specifics. But I think it'll be cleared up when I turn this over. But notice I have 14 here. 14 is balance. That's temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. So this burden is calling for balance. You know, you can't put all your weight on one tire. It's going to explode sooner or later. And this is the pressure coming out. I'm not surprised I have a winter scene here, what with Capricorn being in the winter, at least in the northern hemisphere. So we have 41. So we have 14 over here, and then we have the invert 41. A blessing for solace and hope. This is I mean, this is sort of like the Queen of Pentacles. And she's got these deer horns here, but it's also a little bit... I'm actually getting the Empress instead of anybody else. It's giving me... I am getting a little bit of essence of the Ace of Swords, which is winter, which is air. But I do get this 4 number, foundational number, and this idea of like 4 tens, 4 completions. But notice that 41 and 14 both break down to 5. 5 is movement, it's shift, it's pivot. And why am I... Oh. The Hierophant is number 5. That's ruled by Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, which is ruled by the Empress, which is why I see the Empress here, even though there's no number 3. Okay, so what am I getting? What do I have? Yeah, that's why it's coming in Pentacles, because Pentacles is Sagittarius and Capricorn. So we have something that's been frozen because of not letting go of something. There's a... Why did I see time? Oh, okay, it was on the other deck. Okay. There's something that's been weighing you down, that's been frozen in time, and you had to let go of, I want to say, like, expectations in the material world. You've been holding, it's like this holding out for a hero energy, but it's like you have the power of the Empress and also the Emperor, because there's a number 4 here. The Emperor and the Magician, 4 and 1, come to the Hierophant with those numbers. The Empress combines with the High Priestess, intuition, 1 and 1, to get to the Hierophant number. Now that's about, in essence, it's having faith in yourself, but it's also a little bit of a unification. Usually there's like a priest figure and 2 people that on the bottom that are... Let me see if I can find it in this deck. Let me see if I can find it. It might have come out in the shuffle. It might... Oh, here it is. Okay. I'll have to explain it. So in the regular tarot, the Hierophant, number 5, we see the middle and then the 2 sides. It looks like the triptych door. It's the Emperor and the Magician combined, or it's the High Priestess and the Empress combined. And it's this idea of, sometimes it's, people say, oh, it's the getting married card. So instead of the priests, the friars here, it would be the masculine and the feminine, or whoever getting married. So it's this idea of pulling yourself together and being able to look beyond the material world to your higher self, to the universe, to it's like to go beyond the ego and what the ego demands, so that you can be in your higher power as your avatar on, like, in the earth. And here it's trying to give you solace and hope with this blessing, because you might be down on yourself for putting so much stock in what you thought you wanted, what you thought was how things were gonna be. Solace, I mean, I just heard Quantum of Solace, like that James Bond movie, which I haven't seen, so I don't know what it's about. But the idea of solace is being alone. But it's more the idea of being one with yourself. It's like realizing that you are, so you don't want to be a rock or an island emotionally, because, which would go with the card of the day for 7-4 that I did. You don't want to close yourself off, but you want to understand that you can have hope and faith, Hierophant being faith as well, in yourself, so that this state of being frozen and feeling left out in the cold, 5 of Pentacles, will start to thaw, and you'll be able to get through that pass in the mountains that you've been climbing for so long with all this crap. Okay, so let me see what's on the bottom of these decks. I think this is the only one with this. So we have 15, a blessing on your family. So this is the intuition, this is growing something new, this is what happens when we get from the winter to the springtime. I see this as the same Empress figure. She's operating in the swords energy because she's still working with her truth, because she's got 1, this sword of truth, plus 5, that pivot. And we see this tower here because she's heading towards it. 15 is the devil number, but that just means Capricorn energy. It means we've resolved this Saturnian energy and we're ready to move forward and saying, okay, I might have to restructure my foundation, but I know where I have a path to go, where I'm heading. I've got my intuition with me. I've got some illumination, and I'm ready to do something new. Notice this is 6 total. That's healing. Okay. And what was this one? Do I have the... Yeah, I do have that one again. Okay. So we have the 3 of Cups. So that's a little bit of celebration. Notice we have 18 here. That's the moon. So I did see the moon here. So it's having gone through the darkness and gotten in touch with Cancer moon emotions, which is also the moon card itself ruled by Pisces, which I relate to the High Priestess for my own unknown / partially known reasons. 3 of Cups, Mercury in Cancer. And when I reference the 5 of Pentacles, that's Mercury in Taurus. So this is the idea of trying to ground communication with yourself in order that you can expand your horizons. Notice again here we have this triptych door formation. So I don't see this as like partying and celebration necessarily. I see it as taking emotional upset and burden and turning it into an emotional aspect where you have some kind of joy in your work because you know what you're doing now, because you have this grounding to the universe of guidance of where to go forward. So this deck is done, and this one I'm going to have to shuffle again for that other pile. Alright, so we'll move on to Gemini in just 1 second. Okay, Gemini. Air sign ruled by Mercury. Maybe if I don't have my hand in the way the whole time. Air sign ruled by Mercury. Alright. We have a triptych door. Alright. Okay, so this is the bridge. The bridges. Number 38. So this is an extra card from the expanded. And it's not a specific card. It has all the suits. So to me that indicates major arcana. So that would be the Empress and Strength or Justice depending on the deck. But then 11 is going to be either Strength or Justice depending on the deck as well. So I would say that we have the Empress and Strength and Justice here, but it's coming in inverted. So there's some kind of challenge or rift that's not being bridged. Okay, so 24, I think this is heart or love or something like that. Let me get to the heart. I'm decided not to use the book because these are just to challenge myself a little bit more. So I have 24 and I have the Jack of Cups. So that could be the Knight or the Page. But because this... Yeah, I'm still not sure. Because this is 11, this could also be the Page. But I feel like I want it to be the Knight because I see half of it up here. So... half of 24, 12, the Knight. 6 times 2... that. So, I'm still not sure. I think it might be the Knight this time, but we'll see. So I see the High Priestess, and I see the Emperor, and I see the Lovers, which could also be healing. And if I'm in Cups suit here, 2 of Cups, which is a low vibration of the Lovers, would be Taurus in Cancer. No, not Taurus, god damn it. Venus in Cancer, if I could talk. And the Moon in Cancer. So Venus tells me that the Empress is in play. And the Moon makes sense. Was this inverted? I think it was. I feel like I turned this over and went like that. Let's see, Page of Cups, Fall and Earth of Water, Aquarius and Pisces. This is the Page. I think this needs to be this way. I don't know how I had it, but it's upright. It's supposed to be upright. So we turn the page. Where's my other energies? Empress is Venus. And then Libra and Leo. Those 2 would be the High Priestess, which would be the Moon again. The Emperor is Aries energy, and Gemini energy here. Okay. It's always nice to show up in your own reading. So I have the Page of Cups, I have the bridge overturned. Sort of, I'm getting burned bridges. Okay. And here, this idea of healing. Or like the drawbridge is up. Let's put it that way. So we have Starfish. Water Elemental. So I do have more water energy. And I see Sacral and... what's the other one called? My brain is so gone right now. It's really hard to be articulate in a reading when my brain is decided to speak in images. Sacral and solar chakra energy. There's a little tiny bit of green on the right there for shading, which would make sense if we're dealing with the heart and there's a little bit of red up here as well, the root. So we're dealing with the lower chakras, essentially. Now, the starfish, I remember specifically in the book, it has to do, especially when it's out of balance, it has to do with being shallow. But I also see this idea of the star, 1 in 7, 8, potentiality for like wishes coming true, particularly romantically here, because we're dealing with the heart and something that appears to be an unbridgeable gap. I'm going to summon the bottoms of the deck, because usually do with the triptych door to get some more background energy. So we have air elemental, the butterfly, so air relating to Gemini, and there's mercurial energy here. So there's this idea of wanting to speak, maybe hoping to bridge the gap, but communications have been shallow. It's all small talk. There's nothing deeper. There's this desire to have the foundation, the lower chakras, to get to this heart fulfillment place, at least to begin with this page level of, I'd like to stroll in here with an offering. Like, I'm gonna bring you the cup, but I'm not that confident to be the knight yet. Because the Knight of Cups, it's like, I'm on a horse. He's got a little bit more get-go and get-together. I'm just saying he, because it's usually, the Knight is usually depicted as male. But I have Butterfly here, which has to do with transformation. And notice that we have fire energy and water energy here as well. It's trying to balance. It's like the difference between irreparable and union is communicating in a way that's deeper than surface level. You're never going to get anywhere with someone if every time you talk to them it's like being on your first speed date or being interviewed for a job. There's no way to resolve any issues if you don't get any deeper than, oh, is that bridge still down? Yeah, how's it doing? Well, it burnt down. Okay. How you doing? I'm alright. Yeah, me too. Okay, later. Bye. You need to be like, oh, well, like, I found out that I'm the one who brought the gasoline. Oh, well, you brought the gasoline? I had the matches. I guess we both fucked up. Yeah, I guess we did. Like, I'm sorry. You know, you need to you have to get deeper into the root, to the foundation of what's going on. And notice we have 5 here, which indicates, it could indicate mind games and, you know, feeling put out. But it also has the ability to have this sort of higher level of download, of faith in oneself and or each other. It's a pivot, it's a shift, it's heading in a new direction, it's turning around and saying, this is where we need to go deeper. And the butterfly here suggests this idea of opening up to bigger things, to the air, to communication, and unifying this emotional content and Leonic fire content. The bridge wouldn't have burnt down if the passion was in some way more controlled. You know, it's like, is it recursion? Is that what it is when the bridges vibrate apart? So anyway, we do have this idea of transformation here. This can be transformed if you go deeper. Let me see what's on the bottom of Lenormand. Okay, so we have this number 1 here. I'm not sure what I think is it rainbow? It might be rainbow. I'm not sure. But we have 9 of cups here. That's contentment. And we have 1, this magician number. Oh, is it a message? I think it's a message. She's got a messenger bag. Okay. So notice when I said the knight is on a horse. and it's usually a male figure. Well, here we have a female figure, the Empress, the High Priestess, the Magician, coming in with a message, right? Transformation, like magic, rainbows, and this carousel horse. And for me, the carousel horse represents the wheel, but it's also, in my music deck, this kind of figure is the Ace of Wands. Let me see if I can bring that up. Unless she got shuffled out into another pile. There's either a leaf or a butterfly that just bounced off my air conditioning unit. I'm just trying to find this card. My music deck is made out of printer card stock, and they're not very grippy. It's the Ace of Swords. That's not what I wanted. Give me my card that I need, which is probably, hopefully not in the other pile, because I want it. I want something precious. Try doing it the other way. Bear with me for a second. I'm just trying to find this card. Oh, there she is. Okay. So this message, let me put the rest of these cards over here. So this message card looks a lot like the Ace of Wands here. So this is Enter the Circus / Welcome, Christina Aguilera. So the lyrics, welcome to the greatest show on earth you've never seen before. So I think the reason that there's hesitance and fear of going deeper and transforming whatever is going on in this relationship is because there's some kind of new page, also new. It's a relationship that's creating new territory. The old paradigm of the way relationships run is not really working in society anymore. That's like, we're done with this old way of how people think relationships are supposed to be. You have to create your own way of expressing heart to another person, but it's extremely challenging in a way that almost seems magical. In order to communicate with someone and really get that message to them, it's like you have to take this grand leap. But here she's sort of flying in on this rainbow carousel horse, and in that way is sort of leaping over that mountain gap. Oh, let me see if I can find the wheel in here too. I don't know if it's... Let's see if because my wheel has a carousel horse on it as well. Ooh, I hope I find it, because I just got the lyric as well. Because the idea of making that change and sort of bridging up with that ready to move forward energy. Oh, there it is. Also brings in that Sagittarian Jupiter fire energy of the wheel. So here's another carousel horse. This is my Wheel of Fortune spinning wheel, blood, sweat, and tears, right? Because it's really difficult. It's like you have to go through blood, sweat, and tears to establish this connection. It seems really hard, but there's this potentiality for the High Priestess and the Emperor to come together under Gemini energy as the lovers, as the Two of Cups, as these life partner swans here, creating something magical between them. But it takes a lot of effort. But once you're on there, this wheel moves in your favor. Now that you're down, you come up and she's riding the wheel, right? Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride. Okay, so I know I pulled up some extra cards, but notice we have 10, completion, and then ace, and then 1 again. So it's rapidly going from 11 and breaking down to 1, 10, 11, 1, 10, 11. Is that it? Yeah. And then 5 and 6, also 11. And I see the butterfly is sort of a 13, that death and transformation number. Okay. So I need to shuffle that, and I need to shuffle that. So I'm gonna shuffle these cards again that I'm gonna need for the other piles, and we'll come back with Taurus. Alright, Taurus. Earth sign ruled by Venus. So Knight of Cups, just kind of where I left off on Gemini's reading. And the Four of Rods. Wow. Knight of Cups, Aquarius, and Pisces with Fire of Water energy. Four of Rods. Venus in Aries. Interesting. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and the Empress was relevant in the Cancer and Gemini readings. Alright, so they have more fire. 7 of fire inverted, so that's 11. And then this is 1 or 12. This also gives me the Hanged Man inverted. Hanged Man is water and Neptune energy. But when a knight is upright, it means the Hanged Man is inverted, which means that he's awake and ready to move forward. Notice that the knight is heading towards the Four of Rods, towards this. This is a twin flame card, so if that's relevant, go there. Notice there's 2 flowers here. If you're not a twin flame, it just has to do with foundation. And 11 is universal timing. So 11, 11, 11, and then 12, or 1. So it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Alright. So this card says, defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. But it's inverted. So essentially what I'm getting for Taurus is that when you let your guard down, you can move towards the happy relationship with a good foundation that you want. It's saying it's time to do it. 11, 12, it's like a sequence, like ready to go. On your mark, get set, go. And because Taurus is an earth elemental, there's a little bit of grounding with all this heat and passion and this emotional content. Okay, yeah, alright, I see it. Notice there's a ram's head on here. This is that fire in the water. It's like a spring-like energy, also low vibrational Emperor, because Emperor Aries. So, and I see this card specifically, Venus in Aries. So it's saying you're heading, like, you know that this is where the kingdom that you belong in. You're taking your love to Firetown, essentially. And again, this is letting down your guard. Stop being so defensive. You know, like, why are you in conflict with somebody? Have you just been trying to protect your heart because you thought it was going to get broken, but now you realize, oh, I was being a dumbass. Like, I can go get this. So let me look at the bottoms of the deck real quick to clarify this. I think apparently Taurus very straightforward, and the other ones took me longer to figure out. The hell decks am I even using? Okay, so the bottom of this deck, 10 of Earth, but it's I don't know. Very happy family life, very happy family life, financial security, find magic in the little things in life. So that's a little bit relevant to the last reading. Now, when I flipped this around, it was inverted, but I don't think it needs to be. I think it's sort of in a challenge position. It's something that's being worked on right now. Okay, so 7 and 12, 19, that's the Sun card. And then 1 and 9 together, 10. Right? We're trying to manifest this emotional and emotions and desire drives modus operandi. This is all like 5D kind of stuff. This is saying we're trying to bring it down into the physical world to make it like manifested reality. So where's, oh, the Aquarian Tarot. Okay, so what have I got over here? 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so we're not there yet. We're trying. We're trying to have patience with this process. Notice the 7 and 7 here. We're trying to shift this from fire into manifestation again. 7, 7, 14, that's balance. That's 1 and 4, 5. Shifting, right? We're trying to pivot it from one dimension into the one that we can see. And this indicates that there has to be some patience while it grows. And I have 17, the Star, breaking down to 8, strength and or balance, Libra, justice, which in some decks is 11. And then 12, breaking down to 3 plus 7, 10. So this Knight here, when he comes into the physical world, he sort of loses some of his knightness. He gets a little confused trying to get into the material world, and he's a little bit impatient, but he's trying to get his garden to grow. But when you switch from defending yourself, of sort of ready to bite the hand that feeds you almost, to sort of push people away, it takes a while to build up a rapport with people again in reality. And when he's impatient, he's sort of facing away from what he wants, but once he gets that like jolt of, okay, now I'm gonna make it happen, then he goes like Knight, and then he's like whoop over here. Okay, so it's indicating to me that this Taurian energy is really wanting to manifest happiness. They're tired of not having what they want in the physical world. They're uncomfortable with settling for less than, you know, this balanced life here. Okay, so that's it for Taurus. Short and potentially sweet there. Do I need this deck again? I Alright, so done with these guys, and we're gonna do Aries, which popped up in the last reading, just for funsies. Is that... am I focused? Lost a little bit of focus somehow. Okay. Alright, so we have Aries, fire sign ruled by Mars. Mars just went into Aries, so that's good. Okay, so triptych door. Is that right? I feel like these are wrong again. I'm gonna move them. Oh, okay, apparently that card needed to be flipped, so we're gonna leave that like that. The Hermit inverted, so that's 9 inverted, now looking like an 11 in the Roman numerals, which I had happen in the 7-4 card of the day. And then we have the Knight of Cups, who showed up in Gemini's reading, but he's upside down as well. Look how mirrored they are. It's like Monty Python in the Holy Grail here. It's the Galahad. Let me flip these over. He's like strolling in with the Olympic torch, and the Hermit is like, yeah, I got the light right here. Come over here and I'll light you up. This is, again, this is 9, but when it was inverted it looked like 11, and this is a 1 or a 12. But when the Knight's inverted, I get the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man and the Hermit together, kind of interesting energy. So we have Virgo here, and then Knight of Cups, Aquarius, and Pisces, fire of water. But he's inverted right now, so he's hung up with this water and Neptune energy. Neptune ruling Pisces, so that's very apt. What's going on in the center here? 10 of Wands. Okay. So whatever is... we have this idea of the Hermit coming out of hiding. But there's a problem with illumination. It's like you can't see where you're going, even though there's light coming in, because you've got all this crap in your face. So this came out in, I think, in Cancer's reading. 10 of Wands, Capricorn, and Sagittarius. So we have a lot of earth energy. And then this is fire of water, so there's a little bit of fire there as well. 10 and 9. It's like 10, 11, 12. And I'm saying this is 11 because it looks like 11 inverted there. Alright, so there's some kind of progression trying to happen here, and I think I want to look at the bottom of the decks before I go further. So for the little cards, we have Queen of Wands inverted. Okay. So that's 13 or 1. 10, 11, 12, 13. She got Pisces and... no, not Pisces. Gemini and Cancer with water. No, that's not right. Okay, the wrong thing. Where is she? Oh, here we go. That makes sense. Pisces and Aries with water of fire. Okay. So we have Pisces and Aries and Pisces and Aquarius. And then Neptune energy. 9 and 13. There's 12. No, okay, 4. I see this as kind of a resistance to transformation. And I need the Morgan Greer. Oh, alright, so there's the 5 of Wands. So that's definitely a resistance to transformation. And I was looking at the numbers here, and I did see sort of say 15 in my head to myself with an idea of the devil energy. This is, it's like your own inner conflict is weighing you down. You want to, you're resisting maturing and going through this self-illumination and transformation that will ultimately let you go and pursue what it is that fulfills you emotionally. But I do see this, there's this like exponential sense. It's like like you have the ability to rapidly shift, right? 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like it wants to happen. You want, like, you have the ability to pivot and shift, to flip the script. There's this idea of trying to get to a completion of something, trying to be more grounded in your energy, to take this fire energy and level it up, not from burden and conflict, but to this creative flow that will tell you where you want to put your happiness. Where are you taking it? Where's your next step? So I see this a lot of tension, and I think similar to the other readings, but sort of another piece in the puzzle. It's a little bit of the distorted, or the, well, not distorted, the dark side of Martian energy, combative, resistant, whereas the light side, illuminated side of Martian energy is planning and learning about the quote-unquote enemy. It's why can't I? It's not debate, it's not détente, it's diplomacy. Right? It's negotiations. It's observation. It's not just like, oh, I gotta get these pineapples to Hawaii. So like a reference to an old Robin Williams comedy special about just like, you know, like it's like the Kool-Aid man breaking through the wall, like, oh yeah, but you know, how many bricks can you carry at once? It's this sort of constant need to be at odds with other people, whether you thrive on the drama or you think you're protecting yourself. It's, you know, it's too much at this point in your life. You have to mature in some way. Maturity, letting go of crap you don't need, going within to illuminate, going through a transformative cycle where you open up your intuition and creativity, really get in touch with your passions and your inner fire, that solar energy that drives you, and then take all this energy in your hand and where does it fulfill you? That's what's needs to happen for Aries. All right, so we're going to end it there, and then we'll go on to Pisces. Pisces, water sign, ruled by Neptune. The Wheel of Fortune inverted, 10, sort of in the theme for these readings today. Let me throw that up right. So we have the Owl from the Swords court cards, and then we have moon energy here, and then sun energy here, and then this spider webby situation here. So Wheel of Fortune inverted. We have this sort of like the worm has turned and is now packing an oozy sensation. There's a quote poorly quoted from the movie Wolf. Fire energy, Jupiter, so we have Sagittarian energy, which keeps popping up. And we have it paired with another card with the moon on it. The Nine of Cups. So I'm seeing a lot of 9s and 10s here. This is giving me higher chakras, although this red here does indicate a little bit of a feedback loop between the throat chakra and the root chakra, but I'm also getting a little bit of third eye here. Indigo. So I see the sun and the moon in play. I see masculine and feminine energy. What's Nine of Cups? Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Pisces. It's like dirt. Is that the opposite sign? I don't know. I don't remember. No, okay. Alright, I was just checking on something, but it wasn't. Okay. Nine of Cups, 9, 10. So notice that's 19, that'd be the sun. Breaking down 9 to 10. Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. Notice it's very watery. We have a Nereid here, but it's shallow, and then we have these celestial bodies here. So the sun and the moon and the stars. She looks like she's being beamed down. Okay. It's Pisces, very intuitive. The Pisces actually rules the moon card, which is, I think, why the moon's popping up. Cancer actually rules the moon. And then the moon also rules the High Priestess, which I tend to associate with Pisces anyway. So to me, this mermaid is probably the High Priestess. Is that? Her arms are all weird on here. I thought she was holding a baby for a second, but it's just her arms are rendered very strangely on here. I don't know. Maybe somebody had a miscarriage. So, my cards aren't in focus. Sorry, I had to... Okay. Alright. So let me look at the bottoms of the deck to get more information. Work your light, okay. There's another solar thing. It says, dance with life, do something to change your energy. Came out inverted, which to me indicates confusion or delay. I'm going to put that here for a second. Okay. So that's Swords. So the Six of Swords inverted. Six of Swords inverted, so that's Mercury and Aquarius. I have other Aquarius energy on here. Maybe that was the last reading. So I'm going to put this over here with the 10, because that gives me an inverted tower, which tells me that there's a restructuring needed, but it's not going to be cataclysmic. This is also my card of rowing back into the darkness. It's like we need to go deeper. I see a rainbow here, which did come out in other readings as well. We have a rainbow here as well. There's this descent from or into darkness. I noticed that she's a mermaid, so she's well equipped to go into the darkness. This dance with life thing, it's almost like I see it as relating to this. It's like you need to go back down into the darkness, to the depths of the emotional content, in a way that you haven't thought about it before. Is that energy? Aquarius. Mercury in Aquarius. Yeah, you have to have you need a new way of thinking about something. You have to revise the way that you were interacting with your issue. The 6 and the dance with life, it's like you don't have time to sort of celebrate or move away from the problem until you've looked at it in a different way. And Aquarius being the waves, it's like the current needs to change. It's like the current situation needs to be moved in some way. The jet stream is shifting. The dance with life thing, I did see this video. I think I was on Facebook, but it could have been anywhere. This couple, I don't want to say they were in China, because it might not have been, but somewhere in the eastern realms of the world, this couple is doing shuffle dances, and they ended up doing it because the husband was in a car accident and he was really depressed, and she had him learn to shuffle dance, and then they danced together all the time, and it made him feel like happiness again. And then because of quarantine, they started posting videos. So it's this very joyous way of changing your energy through movement. Do something to change the energy. But here, it's like in order to change the energy, you have to shift the current. It's like currency, in terms of thinking, right? Longing for home, belonging. It's like, I feel like I don't belong here. Well, why? What's the cause of the issue? What is this sadness that's holding you back from turning the wheel? But there's this potentiality. 9 of Cups. It's like you're almost there. That's like contentedness. I mean, 10 of Cups is like full-blown happiness, but this is sort of like beauty and serenity at the 9. Yeah. It's like, I full well have enough. Things are great. I feel pretty chilled out. So there's this again, this idea here. Notice that it's like 3 and then 6, 9, and then trying to level up into the 10. There's this a little bit of holding back, because it's like you're in a washing machine and your stuff still has stains on it because you didn't put it in like the heavy wash cycle. So now you got to go back and put it in the deep cycle to get the deep cleaning and put the, the dirty stuff, extra laundry crystals in, to really figure out what it is that's locked inside you. That's where your soul purpose is hiding, essentially. Okay, so we'll get on to Aquarius. I need this again, but no. Oh, we need both of these again. All right, I'm going to have to shuffle these real quick before I move on, because if I don't do it now, I won't do it. But I'm going to do Aquarius in a second. So Aquarius, we have an air sign, very damp air sign ruled by Uranus, the planet Uranus. After the Greek god Uranus. Also relevant, Aranosaurus. It's a hadrosaur with a frill on its back. Just gonna get these other cards for a second. Okay. Aquarius. The beginning of the age of Aquarius. Alright. The Fool. Oh, I was going to say the Fool is Uranus as well. I was looking at it. I was like, no, because I don't want to force it to come up in the reading. But there it is, the Fool. So, so the song I have on this card is Wake Me Up by Avicii. Rest in peace, Tim. So, looking out on the, over the valley there, the sea of humans. And then we have 21, the World. So this is Share the Land by the Guess Who, and I have a lyric on here, Have You Been Aware? So this is insane. Aquarius has the Fool and the World. It's like you've gone through the complete cycle, the Alpha and the Omega. That's interesting. So we have Uranus energy, and then we're ending on Saturnian Earth energy. What's the middle card? I don't think I've ever gotten the Fool and the World in the same reading. So we have 9 of Chalices. 9 of Cups came up in Pisces reading. So this is... something isn't clear that's made someone unhappy. 9 of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces. So we have these huge outer orbit planets. Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn. And Pisces is there, so that's Neptune as well. So again, it's like looking at the bigger picture, long-ranging aspects. When you look back at the large scope of your life, Aquarius, why are you so unhappy? Are you upset that you realized you finished a cycle and you feel like you have nothing to show for it? You just leveled up and now you're like, what the hell was wrong with me? I could have done better. Music deck. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck here, the Page of Pentacles inverted. So that's an 11 or a 1. So we have Crosby, Stills, Nash, and possibly Young. Teach your children. So I get this, especially with it inverted. Notice how it says it's the album here is Deja Vu, and I kept getting that song stuck in my head recently too. So I feel like I've been here before. But also this idea of, you know, like, I wish I knew then what I know now, because I would have gotten so much further. If we drop this 11 on top of the 9 inverted, that's Judgment inverted. It's like the book isn't being closed, even though we finished this cycle. And what else have we got here? Guidance, number 5. Okay, so this is the Hierophant in this card. And look at this. It's like jacking into your higher self. If I had known now what I knew then, I would be so much happier. But look what all this struggle, this challenging, like, complete cycle in life, this fool's journey, has taught Aquarius to jack into their higher self, to their ancestors, to their guides, and really sort of anchor themselves to the earth, because this is Taurian energy. Aquarius often getting that sort of that air energy with the wetness of the waves here. It's like your brain waves are overactive. You're often too much in your head, and realizing that if you just sort of let it up to the universe, grounded your energy, and just let the downloads come in, you wouldn't have been, you know, struggling so hard against yourself, leaving yourself in this place of feeling, you know, like you don't quite have what you want, even though you've thought about it 800 times in 40 different ways. You know, like, I wish I had learned how to do this 3 lifetimes ago, but the important thing is you've learned it now. And I just find it really interesting that Aquarius is having this sort of midlife review. So usually you don't get this without the beginning and the end, without being deceased. But I think there's something really important that Aquarius needs to accomplish in life. So they're getting these sort of it's like speed reading these books, right? Because usually Judgment 20 is like closing the book on something, but the energy of Judgment is inverted here. It's like I'm reserving judgment on myself because I'm gonna go back to the beginning of where I came from, and I'm gonna rewrite this shit because I know what I need to do. I'm changing, I'm pivoting, I'm shifting my perspective, and I'm not gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result. I'm gonna learn from what I've experienced here, and I'm gonna like move it and shake it. Okay? So Aquarius is I want to say like growing a backbone, but it's not like that. It's like in the Binding of Isaac, one of the items you pick up, it's when you get the Hierophant, number 5, this card, it gives you balls of steel. So there you have it. Balls of steel for Aquarius. So we're going to do Capricorn in a minute. Capricorn, Earth sign, ruled by Saturn. Okay. So I'm going to turn this heart card upside down so it's slightly harder to read until I'm ready to read it. Freaking card. 2 of Wands. Mars in Aries. She's looking a little bit like Frida Kahlo, but like Victorianized. Or whitewashed, I should say. And then we have the 10 of Swords inverted. The Sun in Gemini. So I see duality, I see 12 here, that's Knight or Hanged Man energy, but I also, again, the duality, and both have fire in them. Mars is currently in Aries. This is like trying to make a decision, trying to make a choice. This is pulling the knives out of your back kind of energy. I haven't got time for the pain. I choose to move away from dealing with two-faced hoes. So let me see what's in the middle here. This is the dryad in the tree. So I do get this idea of grounding energy. Gemini duality. Okay. And then this idea of the fire energy of trying to sort of warm yourself with it instead of having your tree get burnt down. This is what I saw last time I saw this card. The sort of grounding and centering within. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life, right? So this is, I've been hurt by duplicity in the past. People have really hurt me. This is a little bit like the Hermit. And then I'm going to make a decision to let those unwanted thoughts, that Gemini air energy, I'm going to allow the dark to stop weighing me down and move towards the other polarity, the light. And here we have this decision moving away from this. It's sort of like Frida Kahlo, stabbed in the back, ish, in a horrible streetcar accident, but decided to make beautiful art despite having experienced so much pain continuously throughout her life. Here we go. This is what I need. So we have on the bottom of the deck the Ace of Cups inverted. Fall energy and water. And again, a duality here. A face-off. With the Ace of Cups inverted, I'm seeing it actually like the Ace of Swords. It's kind of like, are you ready to face off with the truth? And I also see 12 again here. 1, 2 is a good 10, 2. There's a little bit of a hangman energy. It's like you're not quite sure what to do with yourself right now. It's a little bit like emotionally confused and okay, like I'm trying to heal myself, but I don't know where my core being is gonna take me. Like what am I supposed to do with my life now? Kind of energy. I'm just gonna leave her that way. So let's see what's on the bottom of the heart-shaped deck over here. Ow. There. Ooh, spicy. I don't think I've gotten that one yet. So this is, essentially the Ace of Hearts on fire. Right? It's like this card and this card combined. Like, after people telling you who you are and what you are, deciding to go away from that, you have to sort of rediscover what it is that you are. Transformation, of course it is. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. So one another, it doesn't necessarily have to be like your lover has injured you. It could just be relationship with one another means like you and your higher self, you and your core being, your wounded self versus your ultimate self. Right? It's ready to take back the reins of who you are as a person and not be afraid or worried that someone's going to turn around and be two-faced and stab you in the back. And I really feel like this this particular ace is inverted because there's two people on it and one of them's not, they're like hiding. And again, it's giving me Ace of Swords. Let's see that as that thing, which gives me timing. But I also see 13, which is death and transformation as well. So this is Capricorn, a little bit punky in the grindstone of Saturn, which I think is supposed to be moving back into Capricorn retrograde either now or soon or whenever, and this idea of being in Cancer season with emotional content. But I do see this a lot as somebody's been wounding your head, messing with your thoughts and perceptions, and this is, I have the power to choose to listen to your bullshit or to take the truth in my own hands. Okay, so that's Capricorn, and we'll get into Sagittarius. Let's see, I'll just keep this whole pile together, I guess. Actually, I'm gonna leave this one in the pile until I'm done. It's over here. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, am I done with these? Yes. Okay. Sagittarius. A fire sign ruled by Jupiter. My battery's gonna go soon. I'm gonna try to finish this. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles inverted. So the moon in Taurus. So with this inverted, that's giving me sun energy. It's like the same, but sun energy. So with the moon and the sun, so I can see eclipse, which is, I don't know, but the full moon is on the 5th, so maybe that's what that's referring to. And there's the moon again. 18, the moon. All right. 6, 12, 18. So we have a ratcheting up. Look at this duality. 2 trees, 2 sixes. So what is the deal here? 6 of Pentacles. Right, the moon is Cancerian. The Cancer rules the moon, but the moon card is ruled by Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. What the hell was that? The moon, the Neptune, water. Okay. So we have a lot of wet energy, which makes sense because we're in Cancer season. We have Taurus energy. It's like trying to ground. Taurus ruled by Venus. Venus rules... It rules Taurus. It rules the Empress. And it rules Libra. And I see the scales here, right? We're trying to balance, but the 6 of Pentacles, let me see if I can find it in here. I may have seen it earlier. I just want to get the regular looking 6 of Pentacles if it's still in this stack. Boom. Okay, so this is what the normal 6 of Pentacles looks like. Libra energy. And this is the masculine energies open heart chakra card. Love language giving. So the idea is that I almost get this idea of give and take. It's like there's an energy of I'm not fully giving. I'm like pretending to be magnanimous, or I'm only giving to some people but not to a certain group. You know, like I'll be charitable, but when I'm dealing with people in my immediate world, my heart seems closed. So there's this idea of not being balanced in all interactions while still operating in this trying to be like a balanced human being. And we have the moon card here because we're in this zone right now where it's like an emotional gauntlet. And then on top of that, the full moon on the 5th. 5 is that shift pivot number. It's like you need to go back in and do this work that's keeping you in the dark here. We want the sun to come out, illumination, because this is a moon card inverted. But there's resistance. Where the hell is the Uno deck? Okay. So on the bottom of the deck, I have 9. Why is that all scummy? 9 of Cups inverted, right? This resistance is causing unhappiness. 9 and 6, 15, that's that devil energy. There's something that's causing, and then 1 and 5, 6 again. So there's this idea that the unhappiness that you feel is due to the fact that you're holding in whatever darkness, fears, nightmarish content, emotional traumas that are preventing you from opening up to certain people. Whereas with others, you're sort of light and gay and whatever. So we have 4 of Cups inverted. So 13 inverted cups. Resistance to transformation. This is letting go of stuff that doesn't make you happy anymore. Notice we have a moon card inverted again. Some kind of illumination trying to come in. The moon in Cancer. I mean, come on. So the essence for Sagittarius, and I've sent, oh my god, what the hell? What I'm seeing for Sagittarius is what I saw similar, god damn it, for Aries. There's a lot of resistance. There's an alarm. Sagittarius very alarmed to move through opening their heart completely in all directions. The Aries energy was similar in that there was easily something accomplished by flipping the cards. But that the work still had to be completed. Okay? So Sagittarius has everything on the table they need to get to that openness. And what did we get here but the Knight of Pentacles? That slow and steady wins the race. Once the Knight comes in with that coin, manifestation is going to be happening like a mofo. But like Aries, there is resistance to just letting go enough to get through that last run through the haunted house, essentially. Alright, so I'm going to change my battery and we'll get into Scorpio in a second. Alright, so we've got Scorpio here. Water sign ruled by Pluto. Alright. Okay. This is the 8. It's called adjustment. It would normally be justice. Ow, my ear. Okay. So in some decks, 8 is strength, but in this one, it's justice. So it's called adjustment here. That's Libra energy. Ruled by Venus. And then we have the 10 of Wands, oppression. Saturn and Sagittarius. So that's Capricorn. No, yeah, Capricorn and why can't I think? Jupiter energy. God damn. Okay. 4 of Chalices. It's the moon in Cancer, but it's inverted. See, 8 and 4, that's 12. That's the Hanged Man inverted. So there's some kind of illumination happening. I'm going to see this as injustice because of oppression. Now these cards are starting to repeat in these readings. I think I've had 10 of Wands 3 times now. But I see it as a lot of the larger and even Pluto outer orbit planets are creating some intense energies for the next couple weeks. We have a lot of Capricorn energy. Saturn's in retrograde right now. Venus just went direct. And I see Sagittarius over and over again lately, so I'm not sure. Oh, I keep saying I'm not sure what that means, but it has to do with fire energy that has a directive that it's going somewhere. 14, trying to balance. 8 and 10, 18, that's moon energy again. Let me see what's on the bottom of the decks. I did not shuffle the Syrian Starseed after the last time I used it, so I gotta shuffle it for a second. Thought I was done with it, but I wasn't. Sage of Chalices inverted. So this is the Queen of Cups. She's coming out inverted. So that's 13 and 4, that's 17 inverted. That's like the star inverted, which is giving me like comet or like meteor shower or falling star. Like a shooting star. All that glitters is gold, only shooting stars break the mold. Smash mouth for you there. So Queen of Cups, Gemini and Cancer energy with Water of Water. 4 of Cups is it's like releasing the energy of being dissatisfied. And notice that a queen can be a 1 or a 13, and 1 and 3 is 4. So I see this as saying, is sort of reiterating this, but on a higher energy level. My speech is getting worse. I had a snack in between Sagittarius and Scorpio, and I'm just really sleepy right now. Alright, so I have 2 of Wands inverted, which has come out already in these readings. Here it's called Dominion. have it inverted. So we have Mars in Aries, which is happening right now. I almost feel like Hangman energy again, but then it's like I've been really unhappy with my life because felt like I've had no control over it. I've been repressed. It's not been fair. You know, it's like, how am I supposed to just let go of this? And I feel like Scorpio is in this place of similar energy to Aries and Sagittarius, where the problem is still there, but it's almost like the cards aren't really on the table for fixing it, except for a 13 inverted. Although this 4 inverted is actually favorable. There's some illumination starting to happen, but here it's a little bit of a resistance to transformation. It's like the ego's last dance, the ego of lack. It's like, let the light shine down upon you. There's this oppressive lack of control over your own life energy. It's not like this is who you are, this is who you have to be, this is all there is for you. You're allowed to say, okay, I've been unhappy with that, and sort of take hold of this. There's something out there for you energy. This is releasing the I want to go home, I don't like it here energy. And an inverted death cycle is like I see it as like a transformation folding in on itself. It's like every time you shift your emotional perspective, it's like kneading the dough. It's like rolling the clay. It's like smoothing it out. So for Scorpio, it might feel like you're in a washing machine right now, but I think there's an indication that these toxic cycles for you are going to be there's a little bit of a change and a shift happening, and it might be extremely painful for the next couple of weeks with this energy in sister sign Cancer, but that there's something coming out of it, especially the moon in Cancer here, and then there's a full moon on the 5th, so I think that will, especially with the 5 and 8 here, 13 helping Scorpio with their own, essentially their own cards. Scorpio, Pluto rules the death card, so this 13 should be favorable, and that full moon might help tip the scales of justice back in your favor, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a process here. So we'll go on to Libra here in a second. Libra, air sign ruled by Venus, which is also ruling the Empress and Taurus. So we have the ship here. Here it's an airship. Is that inverted? I think it was inverted. So we have serpents upon my dirigible. 10 of Swords inverted, which has come out already, and then we have 3, that Empress number. Serpents upon my dirigible. Which would be the 10 of Swords there, but it's coming undone. We're dumping out the basket of snakes. Alright, so here's the lilies. I got this the other day. So this is also inverted with a 3 on it and a 0 and another swords. So we have King of Swords inverted. So we have like abrasive mind games, releasing lack of balance. Someone's been lying to you. This glass is artificial, right? Releasing someone who's been fake with you, stabbing you in the back. This idea of grounding and trying to get some justice because of Libra energy here. The Rainmaker, 42. So that's the Empress and the High Priestess together. That's... No, 3 can also be the High Priestess and the Magician together as well. So this idea of feminine energy, but also masculine energy, kind of floating back and forth. The Rainmaker is like... I think it has to do with co-creating with the earth, but it's also this idea of, like, I'm gonna make it rain, like, not necessarily like money, 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 but the tides are gonna turn in my favor. I'm no longer going to be bereft of resources and what I need in the world. Also this cleansing rain, this emotional content coming down through Cancerian energy. And what do we have but 4-2, the Lovers, that's healing. And then this idea of being ruled by Gemini, sister sign to Libra with the air energy there, right? There's like, it's like storm clouds overhead. There's the air is going to be cleared by this rain, by this sort of psychic and emotional deluge, right? If it's like there's this spoiler alert, there's a scene in the end of Imagica where this entire dominion is decayed, and the way that it becomes refreshed is this goddess rain cloud comes in, and then the world starts growing and being fertile and clearing and cleansing again. And that's the sense that I get with the Rainmaker here. So let's look at the bottom of the Lenormand as I knock over my heaps of cards. Oh, okay. So you have the Storks, Queen of Cups inverted. So that's an emotionally transformative cycle there. Sort of like zombie inside out death cycle, but this understanding that the issue has been a blockage to the creative emotional flow. 17, that's the Star inverted, that's 8, but it can also be Justice, which is Libra, or Strength. But also that comes in inverted. But the Stork is something that's it's like regular methodical patterns year after year after year, right? Like here it's breaking the pattern. It's I'm turning the light on, I'm essentially putting a cloud over the sun, which is the rain, and I'm flushing out this cycle that keeps repeating. This like time after time after time with your bullshit on my airship. Okay. Thunder. But it's coming in inverted. And I feel like it's inverted just because it's addressing all this other stuff that's inverted as well. You know, it's like the time for talking is over. Let's do some action. But notice we have 56 here. That's 11. That's timing. And it can also be justice as well. I'm solving the injustice. It's like thunder. It's like lightning. The way you love me. It's frightening. But like I said again, it's like the time for fighting for the rumblings is over. Like, I'm not going to hem and haw about it. I'm going to rain down this wet energy in this Cancerian water time, and I'm going to clear out all of this crap that I don't need anymore because I have to. Okay, so that's Libra. And I'll get to Virgo. So we have Virgo. We have Earth sign ruled by Mercury, which also rules Gemini. So we have 10 of Wands for like the 4th time in this bi-weekly astrology reading. Feminine energy involved in that. And then I have the King of Swords, masculine energy involved in that. King of Swords was inverted in for Libra, and this again I've had like a bunch of times. So notice that Gemini for me is a masculine sign, even though it's the twins, it should be balanced, one and the other. And then Virgo is a more feminine sign. So I have the masculine, I have the feminine, we have a duality, we have the triptych door, the union of opposites, and we have this idea of grounding and communication. Is trying to make something fertile. Feminine energy, feeling very burdened. Masculine energy, existing balanced in their truth, so that's good. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Right? And there's a feminine figure on here. The mirror is broken. There isn't mirroring happening between the two opposites. It could be internal, it could be external. It could be a romantic thing where the feminine feels burdened. The king is in his truth, but he's like fucked off in the other direction. And he's not talking to her. Meanwhile, she feels broken into a million pieces because there's this weight of Saturn and Sagittarius on her. Like, I need to move in a direction, but I'm on fire. So let me see what's on the bottom of the decks. So we have the Jack of Wands here with the masculine energy. So this can be, so 10 and potentially 11. Okay, so this is the page. So we have 10, 11. 11 being a twin flame number, which is relevant if this is dealing with that background Gemini twins energy, but also if you are a twin flame and you're looking at this in terms of a relationship. Otherwise, it just is that internal resolution, the internal union that needs to happen. So I see 10, 11. I see a progression. Page is summer and earth of fire. So we have Virgo, that growing season, summer energy, getting to the harvest. And then the Page of Wands is like the king wants to come in and bring a message to the feminine energy being so overburdened. It's like, here, let me help you. But they're coming in as a page because they're really unsure. Even though they're in their truth, they're like, I don't know if I want to take responsibility for anything that's happening over in this sector. But, you know, I'm willing to pick up a wand, 1, 10, and 1, 11 for you. This could also be 1, which would be 11 again. So let's see what's on the bottom of the Work Your Light. The Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and Soul Tribe. Okay. So this energy is that if this masculine energy is willing to bring out the first olive branch, it will help the feminine sort of regroup from feeling split and fractured, because it's like the feminine energy knows that the masculine energy is part of her soul tribe and doesn't understand why there's been this sort of resistance and the truth being withheld. And what's interesting is there isn't really many numbers of healing, but a king can be a 1 or a 14. So I would see 1 or 11. That's like, I'm getting that 11 again. But also if this is 1 and 4, 5, that's a shift and a pivot. There's something that's moving and changing, right? What needs to change. And then if this was 11, it could be 1 and 1, 2, and 5 is 7. That'd be the Chariot, which would be the masculine and the feminine moving together. It's almost like this feminine energy is somehow all right with being in pieces, or the feminine energy is like, I have all the pieces, I'm waiting to glue them together until you come over here and are willing to pick up a single piece and set it down in a gesture of reconciliation. So it's almost like she looks broken to the masculine, which is why doesn't want to come in all the way. But and she's not really faking it. She's just like, well, why bother, burning myself with the hot glue gun to glue this all together if, the soul gathering isn't going to happen. So it's a little bit of scrambled communication, and I think some of that has to do with Mercury retrograde. But all the cards are there for the situation to be resolved, even though it's almost like a business deal between them instead of emotional content. It's like we're withholding emotions until we know that we've signed a contract or something like that. My little things are all messed up. Okay, so let's get into Leo, last but not least. Fire energy, the sun. Nope. Okay. The devil, 15, Capricorn energy. Saturn at play. And then we have the Queen of Cups, which has appeared already in these other readings. Let me just rotate her for a second so you can get a look at what she's doing there. So that's a 1 or a 13. Gemini and Cancer energy. Water of water. Let's see what this middle card is. So we have, do not restart old arguments. It says maintain peace. And the numbers, we have 15, the devil, and then 4. Queen of Cups, 13, 1, 3, 4, okay? So it's reiterating what's going on here. This came out kind of inverted. I don't know if I do inversions with these cards or not, but the idea, do not restart old arguments. It's like you're having a hard time resolving an issue and you feel a little bit upset in your emotions and you're not sure how to creatively flow back in. Like the psychic window is, like your psychic tower is down because you feel like the way to communicate with whoever is involved in it is either yourself or another person. It's like you're tied to this old pattern and you're not sure how to come out of it. So let's look at what's on the bottom of these decks. 7 of Wands. Okay, 7 of Wands appeared already today. I think. Yeah. So we have Mars in Leo. Okay, so we have potential Aries energy. And then Leo again. 5 is 6 and 7, that's 13 again. But 6 is also the number of healing, which means that there could potentially be a resolution here. 7 could also be the Chariot if we wanted to get that far. But this is taking a defensive stand, but it could also be standing up for what you believe in, right? Are you gonna get into the old arguments of just making sure that you cover your own ass, or are you going to stand up for what you really believe in and let down your guard in order to create healing and move forward? So what's wrong, dear? Number 10. So instead of going into arguments and being like, you did this, you did that to me, it's like, how do you feel? Like, what is really bothering you? Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. 10 is a completion number. We also have 1, that sort of magician initiative number, with a 0, the Fool number, and I do see the Fool over here on this Devil card. Let's zoom in on him for a second. So there's the Fool with his hourglass. Okay. So instead of taking this defensive position, what do you believe in? Are you okay? Let's break these ties that bind us in a negative way. 17, that's the Star. That's the day after the Tower, but I also see this as a tower. The tower doesn't have to explode and throw you both into, oblivion. But this is also 10. 1 and 5 and 4 is 10 as well. So there is this idea of mirroring. So this could be a twin flame situation. It could be some kind of internal struggle where your ego is telling you that you're a piece of crap and you're like, no, I'm not. And then it's like, well, when you start giving yourself self-care and stop existing in this idea of, I'm not allowed to feel or to be an acceptable human being, that will, what's wrong with me? Well, I'm actually fine. It's the ego that's causing the problem, and I'm allowed to have feelings and to express them and, be intuitive and know myself in that way. So there is a transformative phase here as well. And again, that it could be for an internal thing, but the way that I see it, it does come out more as in terms of a relationship where you do have this sort of affection and care for someone else, because you wouldn't if you weren't tied to them. Again, it gives me that twin flame essence, but it doesn't have to be. This is also 20, Judgment, which is fire, passion, but also closing the chapter on the old way of doing things, but also coming into your soul purpose. What are you really supposed to be doing here? And you can't really know what your true self is until you stop putting up a block to it. It's like, what's wrong with you? I'm fine. What's wrong with you? Well, I'm going to let down my guard. I'm going to tell you that I've been feeling really depressed. I've been sad. I've been, combative because of that. But, whatever. What I really believe in is that I want to be okay. And, that's the kind of conversation that would need to happen, instead of, I'm fine. No, you're not. And then it's just this argument of, who feels worse, without really going into what that is. Like, you can't just fight over who has it worse if you're not willing to open up and discuss how people really feel about stuff. Like how does it affect you? What does it mean? Are you taking it too personally? That kind of thing, I mean, this is compassion instead of being standoffish. Okay, so that's the bi-weekly astrology readings. I hope it was useful and helpful. I'm gonna move this up here so I can get the screen. Oh my God. All right. Is that? I'm trying to put it in focus a little bit. Okay. If you want to get a personal tarot reading, I have several different kinds. They're all listed in the description box of my infomercial video, which is linked below this. It's like a guide / tutorial to my channel, what I have available in both goods and services. So if you want to check that out, you can go there, or you can just email me, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com, and I'll email you back that same information. So I have actual art items in my catalog. I have stuff like this made to order, chapbook packs, which are like little, kind of like these little readings here. It's like images and numbers and poetry and stuff, just to kind of stimulate some kind of synchronicity or information for you. Little bits and pieces of art from all of the time. And then I have prints and merch and coloring books and other stuff. So if you want to any of that, I have it. Again, inquiries, thecatcamebackatcamp, that's all one word, @gmail.com. If you want to help keep my little channel running, energy exchange, donation, you can hit that tip jar, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. Those are both CATtheMinion as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment if you're nasty, and check out those playlists to see what other kind of stuff is going on in the discussion tab as well. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Stay groovy. Bye.